What's up, Rigby Sneaky Snack Gang? It's your boy, Rigby here, back with another video. Today's the day. Today is the day. Today is the day of the long-awaited review of the film Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget, from Aardman Animation. The animation studio, that brought us classics such as Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep, and of course, Chicken Run 1. How did Chicken Run 2 live up to my expectations? I went into this film with a lot of excitement and a lot of high hopes. So let's see. Chicken Run 2 begins with a look into the life of Ginger, Rocky, and the rest of the chicken gang, immediately following their escape from Tweety Farm. The gang finds himself on an island. Here, Ginger and Rocky's child, Molly, is born. And from the moment she's born, we can already see that she has both her father's and mother's sense of adventure. We're then taken through a montage of all of Molly, their child's, various mischiefs as she grows up. And then we were brought to the point where I'd say, she's 12 or 13, and she's getting restless. She's bored with life on the island. She's bored with the repetition, the tediousness of it all, and she wants to explore. She wants to get off the island. But every time she asks Ginger why she can't leave, why she's not allowed, Ginger simply says, "Because you can't." And we know where this is going to go. One night, Ginger awakes, and Molly is nowhere to be found. So here, we follow Molly as she escapes from the island. We meet some chicken named Frizzle, who I honestly thought was very annoying throughout the film, who takes Molly and says, "Oh, haven't you seen the trucks for, Funland Farms?" And Molly's like, "Oh, I have, and it's awesome. It looks so much fun." And then the two of them board this truck that almost hit Molly, coincidentally being one of these Funland Farm trucks, and they're taken to the farm, which we know is not a good thing, where Ginger, Rocky, the Colonel guy, the knitting chicken, Babs, the strong chicken, and the two rats are close behind, but do not get there in time. So anyway, long story short, Molly gets to the farm, and they find out that they're keeping all of these chickens doped up there with these collars that make them super happy to be killed and turned into chicken nuggets. They're supposed to be delicious because the chickens are happy and not tensed up, whatever. It is a weird thing. The rest of the gang, oh, come on. Also, this is one thing, man. They got rid of Tweety, bro. They replaced Mr. Tweety with this lame excuse for a husband named Dr. Fry. Dr. Fry is the science, mastermind that engineered these chicken collar happiness devices, and he's the one with the money and the land that Mrs. Tweety married him for, so she can enact her revenge on the chickens. But anyway, Dr. Fry gets a collar on Frizzle, to Molly's dismay, and Frizzle becomes all doped up. Molly leaves, finds a way out of this farm entertainment holding pen, and eventually meets up with Ginger, who has been trying to find her, and the rest of the gang has been breaking in to this farm. And Molly watches this infomercial for a potential client of the farm, where it describes in graphic detail what they're doing there, how they're controlling the chickens, and how they're turning them into the most delicious nuggets of all time. This is the first time Molly, knows or finds out about what goes on life outside the island. She didn't know that people ate chickens, so this is a big deal for her. But here, Ginger finally gets to Molly, and she's trying to get her to leave, but Molly's being all resistant, no, we gotta wait for Frizzle, who I honestly thought, I would have been happy just, seeing her go. Anyway, and then ultimately, during this exchange, this argument, Ginger is captured by Mrs. Tweety, and, what happens. She gets freed by Rocky and the rest of the gang. Chickens are about to escape, but then, oh no, Ginger and Molly say we have to go back and rescue the chickens. So they go back, they rescue the chickens, and Mrs. Tweety falls into the nuggetifying contraption. Doesn't get chopped up, weirdly. I don't know why I just didn't chop her up and actually turn her into nuggets. It just kind of deep fried her, which somehow didn't kill her also. But that was a miscall. But yeah, that's the story. It's the meat, if you will, of the film. For analysis, Chicken Run 2 actually, to give them credit, dealt with some not unsubstantial topics. Really, this film focused on Molly, but it was really still Ginger's movie. The story is really about Ginger's journey as a mother and how she grapples with her child, who's exactly like her, in a parallel situation where Molly has grown up on this island, which was paradise for Ginger, having escaped from Tweety Farm originally. But as Molly's not allowed to leave from the island, and it's the same thing every day, the same tedious life, the island becomes a farm in itself for Molly. So Ginger is grappling with all of this, but she's trying to keep her daughter safe. So, you can see the clashing of the two of them because they're so similar. Ultimately, they resolve this. But yeah, there was some substance to the film beyond just pure entertainment. While this was something that Aardman did very well, and whoever else was involved in the making of this movie, I don't really know or care, there were some things that they could have done better. They spent probably half the movie showing us shots of them breaking into the farm originally and how difficult that was. And then once they decide to go back in to save the rest of the chickens, it's just like 2 seconds and they're teleported back in and like everything's fine. It's like I don't want to watch another 30 minutes of them getting back in there, but it's just like, why did we have to watch all that in the first place? It was just like a little weird. In conclusion, 3 main criticisms of Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget. Number 1, not enough rats. Didn't get enough rat time. Number 2, no Mr. Tweety. What are we doing here? Come on, guys, what are we doing here? Shout out Wilmo. Number 3, no nuggetifying Mrs. Tweety, bro. That was such a missed call, man. Like, could have had her fall into this thing. She gets diced up, fried. And that's what I thought they were going to do because, we see the Sir Eats-A-Lot guy waiting outside for the nuggets to come out so we can load them up onto his truck. And, the light turns green. Something's coming out. And we know it's not the chickens, so it has to be Mrs. Tweety. But instead of a nice bucket with Tweety nuggets in there, it's just a deep fried, somehow still alive Mrs. Tweety. It was kind of, Final score. I give Chicken Run 2 Dawn of the Nugget 6.4. 6.4. That's 6.4. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this special review of Chicken Run 2, the long-awaited film by Aardman Animation. And we'll catch you, SNEKE Nation gang, Rigby Sneaky Snack gang members, next time with another video. We're trying to be consistent here. We're trying to get more uploads out there. I know you guys have been hungry for the Rigby Sneaky Snack content. We are going to deliver finally. All right, enjoy yourself, and remember, Rigby Sneaky Snack Nation, arise.